acknowledge that bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
You're fulfilling your destiny.
What have you done?
I won't leave you. Not this time.
You were the chosen one!
I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold.
I feel the conflict within you. Let go of your
The
hand.
Force is with you, Skywalker. If you are the Jedi yet.
I like those odds.
My brother Anakin!
What?
I love you!
The Force is strong.
I'll never join you!
Are you a Jedi?
Then you will die.
What up, nerds, and welcome back to the Nerd Dimension podcast episode 5. What was the name of the episode? I can't remember, boys, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Holy shit, it keeps getting better. We're having a spoiler discussion. Let's get into it. What's happening, boys? My co-host David and my other co-host Mikey. What's happening, boys?
Alrighty.
How you doing, Paul?
I'm good. Cheers. Right, anyway, what was the name of this episode? One thing I
Truth.
forgot.
I've been shouting
Truth.
truth the whole time.
What?
Truth.
I don't know. I couldn't hear you. Truth, right? Which is also a callback to a comic called Truth, which was Isaiah Bradley's story. The same story he tells Sam in this episode. Anyway, what's your first thoughts? Let's talk about it.
After you make it.
Oh, nah. I'll let you boys go
Mikey's
first,
got
but you know what?
Mikey's got a 15-minute monologue.
raging.
I'm excited to hear it. Just go for it, mate. Go for it. The floor's yours.
I'm gutted. You know, we've already had the kind of back story of everything, the kind of mellow at the beginning and all of that, and now we're kind of getting into it. You know, nearly the final episode, and I don't know, how kind of boring.
You thought it was boring?
I bet, yeah.
I
Kind of boring.
didn't. I'm sorry, I disagree. I thought it was fucking class. Sorry for the language. It was class.
I thought it was fucking epic. However, there's one thing, and I think this is your problem, David. It's like, I feel like there's been a lack of story, but it's been more of a character story. Like, it's just focusing on John Walker and basically Sam Wilson and Bucky. It's just basically their three stories. You know what I mean? But I think there was reshoots. I think there was a plot, a lot of discussion about it on YouTube about a virus. And I think that's what, like, in one of the earlier episodes, they were stealing the vaccines and stuff. And Mama Dionde, or whatever her name is, like, she was sick from that virus. And they did some reshoots and some ADR to cover it.
I'm pretty sure, right? Last week, I told you both, right? Come on, Marvel, give me a wee bit more of Sharon. I love my Sharon. They gave me Sharon for not even a minute, 20 seconds of her taking a goddamn phone call. That was it. No Sharon, no happy. I'm raging.
Right.
Now, you got Sharon, right? But I think the Sharon you got, that little brief couple of minutes, that was Power Broker Sharon. I think that was a glimpse into her being the Power Broker.
Yeah,
but
we'll get into that later.
We'll need to go into chronological order.
I've got my own theories, but okay, right, get in it.
Can I start?
Right, okay,
I
I begin it quite often, so we'll go chronologically. Mikey, you want to begin it? How did it begin?
I'll begin it just because, you know, you said you were raging with it and it was bad. Best episode yet. That start with the three of them in the warehouse, opening it with a scene like that, a fight scene. Nah, boys, I think it's been the best fight scene yet.
Mikey, I think you're jumping ahead. The whole montage, the whole him running and like seeing his kind of whole psyche. He's fucked up, and then he's in there and he's kneeling down on the shield, and then he hears Sam and Bucky come in, and it's like that whole back to work. But it's like he's having a moment of realization, remembering what happened, realizing what's just went down, and then he's compartmentalizing it all, and then he's just like back to work because he's used to that. He's been a soldier in Afghanistan. He's done 3 tours. He's had many medals, whatever. I think he's quite a formidable soldier, and I'm starting to like his character. To be honest, I really like his character.
To be fair, to be fair, I've not been a big fan of the new Captain America, but he did put up a good fight against Sam and Bucky. Like he really, really held his own, taking them both on.
He whipped them. Fucking snapped Falcon's shields off. He broke Bucky's vibranium arm. Like it was some fight. See some of the moves, and see Falcon like in this show that like his gadgets, his weaponry, his arsenal, like the things he keeps doing. They just keep improving him. I thought that was fucking phenomenal. That fight was fantastic. The first 20 minutes of this episode, I thought was the best 20 minutes of this series so far, personally.
I agree.
I think it was the only action in it. It was actually the only action in it, and then it was all storytelling after.
But that was still good. You know what I mean? It started off in such a high, and then it just got personal from there. That's why I think
episode 1.
I think it's been the best bit, the best yet.
I'm a sucker for a good montage, and there was a couple good montages in this episode. Sam and Bucky on the boat. What else? And then Sam and Bucky training with the shield, and Sam training with the shield, like being shit to start with, then improving, and then just being badass and traded, fucking Rocky style. You can't beat it. Who doesn't love a great training montage? This show made me like Sam so much more than I did, and I was always a fan, but just a kind of he's a class B character. But now I dig him, man, and I can't wait to see that suit and that box.
Well, there was an Easter. I think there might have been like a little Easter egg right after it. After it, they were in the warehouse, weren't they? And Torres was seeing the damage to the wings that Captain America broke off.
That wasn't the warehouse. That was the place where
the
flags. No, the place where the Flag Smashers had the funeral.
Oh, really?
That's where they were.
Anyway, Sam said to Torres, "Keep them." Will he be the new Falcon? Will he repair them?
Also, he never really they never told them what happened with John Walker in the warehouse. Which that's what that tells me when he's like, "What happened to them?" They didn't tell him anything, and then
they knew that jurisdiction had taken over. They knew that they got benched. They knew that the big people were involved with what Captain America had done. It was wide news. They didn't know what had happened. John Walker hadn't been to the court yet for what he'd done. That was actually the scene after it. But
which I thought was fucking cool. The way it was edited, he really reminded me of Big Boss from Metal Gear Solid. The way he was dressed with all his gear, getting out the car, strutting up. He's got that anger, and you know what? I think he's a fucking badass. I'm a fan. I'm all in with John Walker. You know what I mean? Like, see characters like that. They try to make him to be this golden boy, like show his merits, make him the new Captain America and whatever, and then really he's a darker character. And I vibe with it. Do you know what I mean? I really relate to him. I'm a fan.
I changed my opinion in one episode, so I like John Walker. I said it.
I said it last week.
Everything from first scene and then on to the court scene, you know, and you can see how good he's being played and how
the acting chops, the acting chops are there.
Oh, the acting's fantastic, but he's I don't know how to word it right, but he's getting in deep. So
he's a complex character. Do you know what I mean? He's got a lot of darkness, a lot of mystery. You want to know more about his story. You want to know more about his past. You want to see what he's going to do next. Like just his whole character arc and the way they fleshed him out, and you know he's going to snap. Then he snapped. Now, like we've only scratched the surface of him snapping. Like you see him in the mid-credit scene making a normal metal shield. Like I was saying to Mikey about how's he gonna throw it? Like fucking Happy and Far From Home. Do you know what I mean? But you know what? I can't wait. I can't wait to see the finale, and I hope he sticks around for future movies.
I can't do it. Why? I don't like him.
But because I think you're holding on to this idea like, oh, he's not Captain America. But to me, this is a whole new character with his own demons, his own arc, his own do you know what I mean? His own fucking.
No,
I like him.
nothing to do with that. He's just a guy that I like to watch get beat up, and he has been beaten up every episode we've watched. He got his arm broken there. No, I don't know what it is. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. I think he's annoying.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I've liked him for a few episodes.
And he murdered a guy in cold blood. Come on now, that was dark.
Yeah, I don't.
You know,
I don't like the flag
justice for
smashers.
the native.
I don't like the flag smashers. I hope that fucking. I hope that he takes the rest of them out as well.
Well, I hope they develop him a wee bit different. I mean, I'm interested to find out if what he's building, the shield, will do damage, what he can do with it, what kind of character he'll become. And you know what? If he does become a proper villain, I think I'll be more into that. But the kind of, I'm Captain America. I am Captain America. Just shut up now, you know.
I think the idea of him as Captain America is now gone. Right? He's not Captain America anymore. He's John Walker, and he's going to have his own identity now. When he gets his own name, you know, his own wee supervillain name, or he keeps the John Walker. But I don't see him. He's not going to be Captain America in the next episode. You just know.
Well, let me blow your minds. Right, I was wrong about the whole Thunderbolt Ross thing. There's a whole new character that, in my mind, is the power broker. We seen her this episode. It wasn't Sharon. However, I totally forgot something about Thunderbolt Ross, even though he's not even in your heads. There's possibly a show going to be called The Thunderbolts. The Wakandans are taking Zemo where? The Raft, the same Raft we saw in Civil War, etc. That's where all the highest, baddest ass supervillains get kept because normal prisons can't contain them. Zemo's getting taken there by the Wakandans. Thunderbolt Ross, that's his base. He's the boss. That's his prison. There's possibly going to be a show called The Thunderbolts, and Zemo's possibly going to be on that team. And US Agent John Walker. That's my theory. Is your mind's blown? What do you think?
I did wonder about the raft. What is the raft? That is quite interesting.
So you see, in Civil War, you see Tony Stark fly there in his helicopter, and he speaks to like Falcon, Ant-Man, and Hawkeye and stuff through the bars in the prison. Then he's leaving. Oh, he uses something fuck with security for like a minute, and he talks to them legitimately, and he gets the information, which he finds out where Bucky and Steve's going to go find Zemo, and in that Siberia base. So then he goes in the helicopter, and after the security and the lights all come back on in that, Thunderbolt Ross asks Tony, "What did you find out anything?" And he says he does a Tony Stark joke. He gets in his helicopter, and then he's flying through a big storm. The raft's a big prison in the middle of the ocean that comes out of the water, big black massive circle. And it's where it keeps all the biggest supervillains that's in the ocean. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I remember what you're talking about, yeah.
And Tony flies away in the helicopter, and then when he's in his seat, he just like morphs into the Iron Man suit and then flies out the helicopter. It's fucking badass. Civil War's fantastic. David, you watched the entire MCU recently? I feel like you don't know what I'm talking about.
I do. I've watched the episode twice now, and both times it just went through my head. Like, I have no idea about this location, but now that you brought that up, I know exactly what you're talking about. But I was kind of gutted about Zemo getting taken away there. You know, I was actually a wee bit gutted for him in general. You know, like when Bucky pointed that gun at him, you know, it was back like in Civil War. He wanted to die. He just wanted to go. He doesn't care if he lives or dies. You know, he was ready for that bullet to go through.
That's not what I got in that moment.
It's for me, and I was kind of gutted. And then the Wakandans took him away, and I just felt like that was the end. Will we get to see him again? I don't know.
What did you think in that moment, Mikey, when he pointed the gun at his head?
Well, for a start, it was back to Civil War when Black Panther had came up behind Zemo. You know what I mean? Zemo's been caught again, except it was in the other hand, the gun. It wasn't in Zemo's hand. It was the Winter Soldier. Oh God, Bucky. Sorry, it was Bucky that was holding the gun. I knew fine well he wasn't going to shoot him. You know what I mean? I knew that wasn't going to happen. But I was just getting the Civil War vibes. Was Zemo going to, make an escape? Was Bucky going to just put the gun down and say, "Come with me"? But no, I thought it was a great scene.
I did.
When Bucky and Zemo looked at each other, Zemo kind of looked at him, kind of gave him a look, and he said that it's okay, and he just stood there looking at him, looking at the gun. And when Bucky kind of clicked, he kind of done that, kind of took a wee shig. But he was waiting for that trigger to be pulled.
That's what I'm saying. That's not what I got from that. In that moment, he was kind of like, I feel like he kind of got. It was like he was surprised and he was kind of shocked, and he's like, ironic that the Winter Soldier's coming to assassinate me, and he was kind of scared, and he swallows. And he closes his eyes and he's got a moment of fear. And then when he pulls the trigger, it's that kind of... but then that instant relief and then that respect between them two. That's what I took from that scene. I don't know if...
I think he was ready to die. I think he was ready to die
I thought he was scared. I don't think he wants to die. Only thing that annoyed me is, like I mentioned it last week, we saw 2 years ago in the trailer, Bucky dropping the bullets. As soon as that scene started, I'm like, right, this is where Bucky's going to drop the bullets. So when he's holding the gun, I'm like, now it makes sense why he's dropping bullets. Kind of ruined it for me. But I fucking loved it all the same. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But,
so, talking about the Sharon now, right? Sharon was seen on the phone and she managed to get, who's that French guy? Out of prison, she got him out of jail.
George Batroc the Leaper, played by George St. Pierre, ex-middleweight champion, UFC 5.
Well, she got him out of jail to do him a favour. That favour is get involved with Flag Smasher and kill Falcon. She is the power broker.
Wait. No, wait. Was he in jail? When did he go to jail? He escaped at the end of the first step in his flight suit.
Oh, she got him out of jail?
Oh. Way back before that one, she got him out of jail. That makes sense. Well,
power broker.
I
think I'm right about the power broker, Paul, and I think you're wrong about Bucky being the new Captain America.
Oh, it's going to be Sam.
Go David.
I'm definitely wrong about Bucky, and I did say a couple episodes ago, the way they keep mentioning White Wolf, and they've continued to mention White Wolf, Bucky's the fucking White Wolf. However, it was just a feeling I got from Ep 1 with the whole, with everything to do with like the therapy and everything. Do you know what I mean? It was a theory I had, and when Isaiah came into it, and then the whole, they wouldn't see a black man be Captain America. That then made sense to me. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, right, wait a minute, I'm completely wrong. But the character that I think's a power broker after the court scene, Julia Louis-Driver, aka Elaine from Seinfeld, fucking Madam Hydra from the comics, a Russian sleeper agent. What else? Fuck, I had her name. I had her full name.
I think she gets called Val in this, doesn't she?
Yeah, Val. That's what I remember as Val. I couldn't tell you the whole name, but Val is Val.
I literally had it. I literally had it written down as well. It was like Caressa Dafoni. It was something long and crazy.
Yeah, it was a weird name, but the actress of her was actually meant to make her debut in the Black Widow movie, and Black Widow movie was actually initially meant to come out before the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So she's actually an assassin. The card that she gave John Walker never had any details on it or anything. He said it's blank when he looked at it, but she's the assassin. I think she's involved with training the Black Widow.
Well,
I don't think she's the power broker, which a lot of people are thinking.
well,
She's
she was a Russian spy in the comics that infiltrated Shield. She worked for Shield, and she was like a Black Widow type character. She plays a character called Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, and she was basically Madam Hydra in the comic.
I liked her
So
the minute
that's
she
why I
said
think
Yeah.
she's
was not meant
possibly
for
the power
walking. I
broker.
was like, oh,
I,
people.
I think she's possibly the power broker. You know, I think it's too obvious for Sharon to be the power broker. It's pointing the way that the story's been told, what we've seen, is pointing that it's very likely. But in Marvel fashion, I'm like, it's too obvious. I think they're gonna sweep the rug from under our feet. It's not gonna be Sharon. She works for the power broker.
I think we all know it's Marvel. Anyone could be the power broker. I could
Exactly.
be the power broker. You know what I mean? And anyone could be it. But I'm pointing at Sharon, like Davey's pointing at Sharon. But nah, Val's entrance in that scene. See the confident entrance. Oh, that I thought it was fantastic. The way she just sits down in between John Walker and his wife, just moves her out of the way, sits down, and just basically lays it down.
Well,
You know what I mean?
she reminded me of Zemo. She's that confident, fast talking con man manipulator. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, what was it she said? Oh, good job taking the serum. That was the first best decision of your life. Second best
The
decision.
second.
Second best decision. Oh yeah, that was the second best decision. First best decision. Answering the phone when I call you. She is cool, man. I was a big Seinfeld fan as a kid, and I actually
And then when
watched
she goes,
Seinfeld
tied
2
with
months
marrying this
ago.
beautiful lady.
Aye, exactly. And she's just kind of like behind her. It was so good, so good. Moving on,
What
David. Where did we go from there? Back to Sam.
did
Was that from there? Did we go to Sam and Torres talking when the wings were broken?
No, I went to Carly. I think they were at the building. All the refugees had been moved out. Place was empty. She
Aye.
said everyone's dying that I know. You know, Mama, blah blah, whatever her name
Well,
was, the one that died.
see where Carly was that was emptied out. That's where Sam was talking to Torres.
Mhm.
That place from the previous episode. That's where they
Yeah.
were again. So this must be a few hours later or whatever, or a
So
day or two later. Who knows?
there and then they said the plan goes ahead. It starts tonight, and then it kind of cut. She wasn't in it very much this episode, but so that was quite a short wee one for Carly, and then it cut to Sam going to Isaiah.
Isaiah Bradley.
Yeah. I
I
think
really
I don't
enjoyed
think he
that.
had the shield with him to take it to him. I didn't quite understand that.
Well, Sam's working through some stuff, and basically the episode's called Truth. There was a comic called Truth, and that was Isaiah Bradley's backstory, and it was set way back. But exact same story. See what he tells Sam? That's Isaiah Bradley's comic. And also, I got a lot of this is what I love about the MCU. Like even in Endgame, all the callbacks to the different MCU movies, like Black Panther saying, "Clint, give it to me," talking about the gauntlet. You know what I mean? That was like in Civil War. He's like that. I'm Clint, and Black Panther's like, I don't care. But then in Endgame, he's so Marvel's fucking brilliant, basically, with the kind of callbacks. And with Isaiah Bradley's story, I don't know about yours, but I'm just thinking First Avenger, Captain America 1. Captain America goes rogue. He saves everybody that's been captured from Hydra. And he has that epic scene when he's walking back and Tommy Lee Jones like is writing all the like death letters to all the soldiers that were lost, and then Steve Rogers come back with all them. Isaiah Bradley had the exact same story, and his comic Truth was the same thing, and he mentions that about going rogue and saving all his partners. The Red Flyers, I believe it was called. It was a group of black pilots, real life story from the World War, and Zack Zack Snyder. Somebody made us a movie. Oh, George Lucas, sorry. The fucking God creator of Star Wars. George Lucas made a movie called The Red Flyers, which is based on the people Isaiah Bradley's talking about, his crew. in the World War. They were all pilots. They got tested on. He was the only one to survive, but they got captured. He managed to save them by going rogue on a mission against his orders, just like Captain America, First Avenger. So many callbacks and mirrors, and I thought it was fantastic. See, at the start of the show, Sam not wanting the shield, and at the end of Endgame, I never understood it then. I didn't think, like, oh, it could be a race thing, or they wouldn't accept a black Captain America. Just like when there's that whole thing, Michael B. Jordan being Superman, like, would the world accept it? Like, I never saw that. And when at the end of Endgame, never even crossed my mind. Or in the first episode of this season, when he's talking to War Machine, and War Machine's like, I thought I would have liked to saw you take up the mantle. He's like, why aren't you taking up the shield and why aren't you becoming Captain America? I never thought of it as being that black hero. And I think like Sam will be, now that we don't have Black Panther, rest in peace Chadwick Boseman, Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie is going to fill in that space and become the new Captain America and be that black hero. But just like in real life, they're in the show, they're doing that thing. Like in the 50s, they would not have accepted a black Captain America. And it's just like real world stuff, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fantastic. David, you didn't like this episode? This episode was fucking great, man.
I didn't like that. I liked the storytelling. I didn't like the episode. There's a wee difference, you know. I did like the story of Isaiah. You know, I felt terrible for him. Doing all that, you know, Captain America got praised for it, got the Medal of Honor and everything, and he got jailed and experimented on. He lifted up his shirt and he had the big scar thing.
You need to remember, he's got horrific scarring. You need to remember though, Shield was run by Hydra, and they basically just like the Templars, they run the world. You know what I mean? There's all these secret governments and that, like you see in the Avengers, where Samuel Jackson proposes the Avengers Initiative to all these like higher ups. Like that was all Hydra. You know what I mean? And the way that they ran the world and the way racism was, and like they would never have accepted in the 50s, accepted a black Captain America, and they wanted to know why it worked on him, so they could duplicate that and make an army of Hydra, an army of Hydra super soldiers, and run the world. Just like,
why'd you keep it in the 50s?
Isn't that when Isaiah was Captain America? Pretty certain it was not Captain America, but he was.
Well, the World War II was 1939 to 1945, and if it was during the war when all that happened, right?
Well,
then he would have probably have gotten arrested at 45.
He was involved in the war, but he never got the super soldier serum till after Cap was on ice. Cap went on ice at the end of World War II. No?
Oh, right, okay, I'm with you.
Am I a genius or what? Nah. I don't know. Like, I'm speculating. This is it's close to fact. You know what I mean? But he took Isaiah took place in the 50s, definitely, and I'm pretty certain about that. What did you think of Sam's speech with Isaiah, Mikey?
I liked it. Sorry, it took me a wee while to kind of get it. I think that was my only bit in the whole episode where I was kind of
slowed down.
Thrown. Aye. It took me a bit to get into it, but then once I rewatched it, I understood it a bit more. So I did, and like you said, it does take you back, and it is retelling the story of, you know, before Captain America, the First Avenger. But well, overall, all I could say for that bit was it threw me at first, but now I get it. Davey?
Well, for me, wait a minute. For me, David, Mikey, for me, he went to speak to Isaiah because who else he's got no one else to speak to because Steve's not there. Steve's gone, by the way. They keep saying Steve's gone. Steve's not dead. And then see if you go back to one of the earlier episodes when Sam's talking to Rhodey in the Smithsonian. One of the things says basically Steve Rogers retired at the end of Endgame after the battle with the Avengers complex or whatever, the battle for Earth. And so it says he retired. Is he gone? And then there was that whole thing, they say he's in space or he's in the moon. Is he on the sword base with Sam Jackson? are we going to get Steve Rogers back?
Well, I don't know if we are or not. I believe that the actor that plays him, what is the name of him again?
Chris Evans?
Chris Evans, yeah. He said he would be open to it, but he's not got a contract with them at the moment. His contract ended at Endgame. So at the moment, no, I don't believe we are going to get Steve Rogers back.
I don't think so.
No. But you know what? I think he is open to it. So the possibility will be there. But in this show that we're watching, the TV series, definitely not. It would have been lovely to see him come back and kick fuck out of the new Captain America. I really wanted to watch that, by the way. I was praying that would happen, but doing a wee bit of research, I don't think that would be happening.
I believe the Steve Rogers we know and love wouldn't need to even fight him. Like, he would appear and he would speak in his stern, heroic Steve Rogers voice. And he would say something like, "Stand down, soldier. That live to fight another day," or something. He'd say something fucking stoic and heroic, Qui-Gon Jinn, Phantom Menace style, and then he would talk him down, and then he would break down. And do you know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't even.
Phantom Menace style is exactly what I was thinking as well, because I thought that the new Captain America would end up wanting to fight him, and then Steve Rogers would pull up his walking stick and like that, pure with his walking stick with his wee ninja moves and that, and kick his head in.
I just missed the Steve Rogers monologues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The hype. He was a hype man, wasn't he? Whereas, can you imagine John Walker trying to get a room ready?
Exactly.
Nobody what?
Lamar was better at speaking when I made my in memoriam. I was like, I actually like Lamar.
Do you know what? Right. See, while we're on this topic of Steve Rogers, and I know it's not today, Falcon&Wintersoldier, right? While we're on this topic, remember last week, and we were talking about how we don't like that you could see John Walker's ears, and
Right.
we were trying to figure out where it was coming from. So I rewatched Endgame, and it turns out Steve Rogers' ears are out and it's the same helmet as what John Walker wears.
Is it? Because I did say last week that the only one I think that Steve Rogers' ears are out is the first Avenger, which I did check. See when in the podcast I put a clip of Steve Rogers grabbing a satchel of grenades, throwing it in a tank and jumping off. It's such a sick scene. I had to put it in. Just to show how badass and heroic the real Captain America is in comparison, because it was back to back between John Walker smashing, and that one did have the ears out. So I thought John Walker's helmet was like in comparison to that one. Do you know what I mean? The first Avenger, but that's good. That's awesome. That is in Endgame as well.
Because it was annoying me. It'd be annoying me since we spoke about it last week. So it was, and then I'd sat up and once I'd sat on the couch and I'm like, right, I'm going to rewatch the movies, and I go to Endgame. Obviously, Infinity War is not wearing a helmet at all, so he's not. But then in Endgame, I'm sitting there and I see him with a helmet, and the ears apart. I was like, oh, there it is. That's it there.
Everybody, welcome to the new segment created by Mikey G, rated all Captain America suits. Every episode will take one character, rate all their outfits from all the movies, and pick our favourites. Let's go. Starting with you, Mikey, rating your best Captain America suits. Can we all just agree before we start this? Avengers 1 is the fucking worst Captain America suit.
Yeah, it's too generic. It's too generic. It's too comic. It's too comical. I think Captain America Infinity War is his best. That the beard, the no helmet. When I can't remember her name. Thanos' daughter. No Gamora. No what's the blue chick called again?
Nebula.
When she throws she throws a wee spike thing. The train's gone bad. She throws it at Captain America, and all he hears dun.
No, that isn't Nebula. That's one of the children of Thanos, Proxima Midnight. You've got.
I just said daughter because they use the term children of Thanos. You know what I mean? So I know it's not his daughter like Gamora and Nebula, but when he's just standing there and he's on black, he's got his combats on, I think it's his best outfit because I think it's his hardest outfit. You know what I mean? That sounds a bit weird now that I'm saying it, but no, I think
it's his battle worn version. If this was
yeah,
if this was a fighting game, that'd be his alternative battle worn costume.
yeah. If it was if it was like a Tekken style game and you got to pick their outfits, that's what I'd pick. That'd be the skin that I'd wear. You know what I mean?
For
I
me,
think his worst one was the very first movie he was in.
Nah. His worst one's the Avengers. The second movie
Yeah.
he was in is the Avengers one. The first movie, I love it. It's like actual tactical. It's actual just real military style, World War One style, or World War Two. World War Two style. Do you know what I mean? Like it's actual. And see the fact that he goes and gets it. Was it in Civil War? Or Winter Soldier, Civil War. He goes.
But
And gets it.
remember what outfit he wears in Civil War?
Oh, in Civil War, he wears the Age of Ultron outfit, except he doesn't have the Avengers emblem on the shoulder. That's not there.
Actually, wears so in Civil War he wears the same outfit as he does in Endgame. So that's where the ears are right there. The
Aye.
ears are popping out.
You know what though?
Nah,
He
but
fills
I'd say
that
Infinity
suit.
War.
He fills that suit so good. He fills it so good. So
That's America's ass. You know, like I used to say about myself, this was Finiston's ass. That's America's. Never forget when Mitch said that to me. I was under the dressing table cleaning, and somebody said something. I think they called me fat or something, and Mitch turned around and goes, "Hey, that's Finiston's ass." So,
that's
I got Mitchell Barton.
oh man, Mitchell, man, that's too funny, mate. That's that's. I'm sorry. That's Finiston's ass. That's hilarious.
That was the old joke.
David, take us
Anyway,
to the next scene. David, go for it.
then I've digressed. Take us away.
Right, Sam left the building and got on the phone and called Sarah and said, "I'm coming home." Paul's still pissing himself.
I can't I'm good. Goose
Sorry,
Frabba.
Paul. I do apologise.
Oh, Goose Frabba. I'm good. David, sorry. Continue, mate. Continue.
So Sam phoned Sarah, said, "I'm coming home," and then it cut to him trying to repair the nettings, and we're getting it ready, talking to his nephews.
Oh, that's right. He's like, oh, it would take us 100 years. He's like, oh, why don't we go out to a spot? He keeps talking about his dad, and I don't know if any of you's noticed, when he pulls up his iPhone, same bloody screen, same end call numbers, but you could see the picture, and it looked like a wee boy and his dad fishing. I think so, fishing. I'm like, that's a picture of Sam and his dad. I think Sam's dad was a big part of his life, a big inspiration to him, and he's mentioned his dad a lot, and he's saying to his nephews, why don't we go out to the Grand Isle? Something, it was a spot to fish. His dad used to always take him there. Do you know what I mean? And then how relieved he was that Sarah doesn't want to sell the boat. And neither they should. Do you know what I mean? They're painting it, they're rebuilding it. I mean, that's
they had a buyer. They were talking about a buyer, but he pulled out because the boat wasn't up to shape. It wasn't really worth much at all, so he didn't want to buy it. And Sam didn't know about it, so he kind of confronted Sarah about it.
He said, why don't we just fix the boat? And then he goes,
Yeah.
right, we're going to go right on that. He's like, all the people that give goodwill, like in the first episode, he did mention to her, now he's proving it to her. All the phone calls he made, all the people, oh, how's the families? Like, I hope you're doing good. You ever see that thing? You pick up the phone, quick kind of montage of that, then boom, they're working on the boat. Who arrives? Bucky, and he's got a sick ass box. But before that actually happened, before Bucky arrived, we're in Sokovia. What a scene! See the atmosphere. See the memorial, and that's the same memorial in the other episode that Zemo asked. I believe Zemo is like, "Did you visit the memorial?" He's like, "Of course not." Remember that was the memorial he was talking about. I'm convinced. I don't know, but
fucking knew where to find him.
I don't know, but I'm convinced he had a night of dancing. He had some gear. He's fucking steaming. He pumped a few prostitutes. Then now he's having the fear. He's at that memorial. There's Buck arrived for him, and then we already spoke about this scene. I truly believe that Zemo was scared and shocked that Bucky pulled the gun on him, and then there was this slight moment of relief, but respect. Even though he hates super soldiers, I think Zemo respects and really likes Bucky personally. And he did say,
Yeah, well,
he did say,
yeah,
he did say, I decided I'm not going to kill you. Honestly, but then you had this shock and this fear. I don't know. I read the scene completely different from you, but I really enjoyed it. It was one of my favorite scenes in the episode.
I took the liberty of scoring off my name. I hold no grudges. I like that bit.
Yes, I'm so glad you remembered the quote because I wanted to write it down. Mikey, I never watched the episode again. I was too fucking busy editing uploading that last video to the channel. I've got a problem.
No, mate. I messaged you and I was like, have you watched it? No, not yet. Have you watched it? No, not yet. Anyway, so obviously the Sokovia scene happened. Bucky's arrived. See the way he flexes his metal arm and lifts that pallet onto the boat, and the way everyone's just looking at him like, what the fuck?
See, he walks so Sam's like that trying to rip this thing off. Bucky just walks over, just launches it. Epic. But see, before that, still at the memorial, the Wakandans show up. That's when they tell him he's gonna live out his days in the raft, and he's walking away, and she says to Bucky, I would probably make yourself scarce in Wakanda for the time being. Basically, don't show your face in Wakanda for the time being until this blows over. And then he asks her for the favor being the new Falcon suit, the new Falcon.
Which I can't wait to see, by the way.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see.
They pulled
Paul showed me a comic picture of what the Falcon should be. Kind of white, and you know what? At the very end, when Sam began opening the case,
you saw the white. You saw
white?
the white. I saw the white.
I've seen white as well.
You saw the white, Mikey. I said to David, I believe that he's gonna have. Do you know Gambit, the X-Men?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Know how he's got this kind of mask? It's his hair hangs out, but it's just over his face. His kind of face hangs out. That's kind of what the Captain America Falcon suit was like. So his hair's at the top. He's got his goggles, and it's just a line there, and his face is kind of out. Do you know what I mean? Kind of like a turtleneck, and then a cover. And I think that's what his suit's going to be like. I showed David the picture of it a couple of weeks ago.
Well, when I watched it earlier today for the second time, at that very moment when he opened it, it didn't cut right away, and you can just see white in it. And I thought, bang on, that's it. It's got to be.
Because I watched a different edit, because I don't remember. I don't remember that.
You see that tiny flash of white, but they pulled the Pulp Fiction on us, where it's they don't really reveal it till the end, and it's he opens it, then it reverses the camera to behind, and you just see the reaction of the person that's opening it. So you see the person's point of view opening it, and then it flips to behind. You're seeing their reaction of them opening it, and then you don't see what's in the box.
We're not going to see it straight away in the next episode. It's going to be it's going mid-fight where between Bucky and somebody, and I think Sam's going to come in with this killer suit.
The start of the third act. The start of the third act is my prediction. He's going to come in with that suit at the start of the third act. However, I don't even know where the episode goes next after whatever scene we were just talking about. But the fucking training montages, let's get into that. Oh, forget the training montages.
Let's finish.
You go for it, David.
Keep it going on, right? We're nearly there.
You go for it, David.
You're nearly finished. It just goes to the bit.
Did anyone notice a bit of a sexual connection between Bucky and Sarah?
Well, that was the whole point.
Hi. I'm Bucky. He's like,
hi.
I'm Sarah, and she's gonna give this little cheeky grin to him, and I thought
no.
Sam noticed that.
Bucky initiates it, and he's like, hi, I'm Buck. He's like, I'm Sarah, and he's a gentleman because he's from the 40s. There's no men like him in this day and age, by the way. Just remember that, which we saw in the first episode. However, going back, actually, there was a line that's right. Sam and Bucky, when they're talking, they're throwing the shield off the trees. This scene blew me up. David, I cannot fathom how you did not like the set. Like, I had so many emotions with it. See that scene when they're at the trees and they're throwing the shield, one's catching it. I fucking love Cap Shield. It's the coolest thing ever. But that way, it was just like slowly, ding, ding, ding. One catches, ding, ding, ding. The other catches, and they're talking. Sam's grief counseling, going back to the Winter Soldier movie, and then him having that conversation with Bucky, and then Bucky opening up and saying, "Oh, I never realized that's why you gave up the shield, and you didn't feel like you could be Captain America because you're black. Would they accept you?" He never realized that. And then he also told Sam about how without that shield, like that shield is the only family. That it signifies something for him. Do you know what I mean? Without that he's got nothing left because he's from the 40s. They see you're 20, 25, 6. Who the fuck knows? I think I don't know actually. I'm gonna need to actually figure that out between Endgame, WandaVision, and this. But that scene really touched me. Do you know what I mean? His
There
grief
was a
counseling,
bonding moment between them both.
their brotherly bond, their friendship growing, like their respect. They definitely now have a good respect for each other, and they're both helping each other because Sam really helps Bucky with his PTSD in that scene, and then Bucky really helps Sam by basically forgiving him for giving up the shield and saying sorry, I never understood. And a real connection is made. You know what I mean? Like Steve's gone, but they're real friends now. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I think
Well, I think that the bonding has been there. They've always had a kind of love-hate relationship, you know. And then when Bucky appeared and then began helping them with the boat, helping them repair everything, I mean, he must have spent the whole day there. And then near the end of it, he said, "Right, I'm going to have to go book a hotel and then get a flight." And then Sam kind of laughed, like, "No, just stay over," you know.
but
So
don't fuck with my sister.
he gave him the couch to sleep in. You know,
And then he
don't flirt with my
wakes up.
sister. You know, having that wee joke, that brotherly laugh with each other. You know, that lot of bonding.
Then he wakes up
Well,
and
that's
see
all.
the nephew's playing with the shield. But Mikey, I'm curious to what you were going to say before David starts speaking there.
No, sorry. It's so timed. I'm just trying to say it. No, it's because you're talking about the brotherly love. It just contrasts, and everything we say, we go back to a certain movie, right, or a certain part. And a lot of it this week is we're contrasting to Civil War. So we're in Civil War, it's when they meet, and you can tell Sam does not
They
like Bucky.
fucking hate
Bucky
each
doesn't
other.
like Sam.
Aye.
But now, and now, it's just so much more. You can tell, you know what I mean. Steve's away. These two guys were in a love triangle with Steve, and now Steve's away, and these two are just coming together, and it's having this beautiful relationship, and I can't wait to see more of it.
It's an organic respect. It's like me and you when you first came to our work, and we were working together, and then our respect and friendship that grew over time. But it was,
Yeah, right.
but it was
Yeah,
the same thing at the start.
we started off in such a wrong way, you know what I mean? Like me and you, there was such bad energy straight away, but then it progressed. You realise that this is Finiston's ass, and this is what No, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. No, but yeah, so it's like you said, it's an organic brotherhood, and
you
they've got
quickly
this
over
this
time
newfound love.
you quickly over time became my favourite manager. Like I said on your birthday post, I meant that. I'm gutted you're away. I'm gutted the
It hit
Chrono
me in
just blew
here.
you back.
It touched me in there. But no, aye. So everything is just, and it's that episode there. On Truth, is just contrasting to Civil War, and there's so many little bits. And when we were talking about the shield being thrown off a tree, every time I've watched it, and I've watched it twice, right, and I laughed at both times because all that goes through my head. See, anytime I see Cap Shield flying, it's just Tom Holland, the Spider-Man, going, "Whoa, that thing does not obey the laws of physics
Oh
at
my
all."
god! I've been thinking about that for
every
3
time.
hours. I've been thinking about that all day, honestly. And then see with the US agent making his own and me making the cat reference, I just kept thinking of that as well, that it doesn't obey the laws of physics. Because see how like they're just like, it's like a casual game of frisbee. They're just like, they're not even like throwing it with any force. They're just kind of like, and it's just slowly bang, bang, bang. Just like a game of like, what's that game where you're like the wee white board and the ball's hanging? That's like the shield, just casually bang, bang, bang on easy mode. Do you know what I mean? They're just slowly.
Did you ever have a Blackberry? Remember the game
Aye.
Brickbreaker on Blackberry? It just floats in the
That's
board.
what I'm talking about. The wee white board. Even older than that, like obviously it was on BlackBerry, but older. It was on like before the Nintendo and shit. It was that wee game. Ding, the ball would go up. It was Brick Breakers, you know what I mean? But it was the older one. It was just black and white. It was a wee white square. The wee ball going up. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Just on easy mode, the slow ding, ding, ding. That's what I was getting. That's exactly what I was thinking of and trying to explain them. What you
I
said.
just wish we got to see how they learn to do it. You know what I mean? But we Cap, we go. You know, in the first Avenger, we got to learn to see the progression of him getting better with the shield.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Bucky and Sam, they're just good with it. So I wish we got to see the proper stages of training. Obviously, we do.
Well-
We see Sam doing his running. We see him doing his training. But I wish we knew how they progress to, you know, the throw, the catch, and then do it such and sync, because the sequence of him throwing it's just fantastic, and it's like just being at the park with your pal, and
Aye.
you know what I mean?
That scene with that conversation, there's so much emotion, so much like character development for both characters. They're growing, they're hitting, they're reaching an arc in their arc in that moment, and they're helping each other. Their bond's growing, the respect, that brotherly bond and friendship has just been merged in that moment, and they're just throwing that shield, whatever. But I'm a fucking sucker for a montage, an absolute sucker. Huge Rocky fan back in the day. All the movies had them all on DVD. Honestly, sucker for a montage. See him training first. The nephews foreshadow it. Bucky wakes up on the couch. They're playing with the shield, and he's like, "I'll put that down." That's like foreshadowing. Oh, Sam's gonna be using the shield. Then he starts. Bucky's away. They have their goodbye. I can't remember what the conversation was. If I took notes, I would have. They did say something at that moment. Do you remember, David? Just before Bucky leaves, and then it kicks into Sam full on training montage.
No, I can't remember the quote.
I forgot.
What one, between Sam and Sarah, or what one?
No, Sam and Bucky. Bucky's leaving, and then just after Bucky leaves, it goes into full on Sam training montage. Bucky
No, I
leaves
can't
Sam's
remember,
home.
There was a lot happening in the scene, and I'll be first to admit, right, my attention was not really on the dialogue, because I was just
because
like,
you're falling asleep with the storytelling. I knew you didn't like it.
David. That plenty.
No, that episode fantastic.
I couldn't focus on the dialogue too much, because I was just thinking about Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and I was just too busy watching the sequence, and there was a lot going on.
Thinking about movies. Yeah.
David. This guy, by the way. This guy.
Well, you know, see the shield. I've had a thought about this. Right, what is it called? Vibranium. What's
Vibranium.
Vibranium. Right. So, see, I don't think they actually need training with a shield. Just like the Captain America didn't really need as much training. I feel like, see how Bucky's arm is connected to him. Right. There's no like. They've put a plate on him and it's connected. I feel like the material.
It goes right on his pet.
Aye, but I feel like the material
when it tricep, pec, and then forearm.
But I feel like this material, like it's not like it's a Wakanda material, right? I feel like it can sense what you want to do. That's why he can move it any way he wants with it, because he's thinking about it. It can sense it. Like, so when they're throwing that shield is connected to them in a kind of mental state. It knows that they want to throw it towards that tree and bounce off and come back and catch it. I feel like that shield can sense them, like the material in it, and that's how they use it. I think they don't.
Sam doesn't have any vibranium. It isn't that at all. It's
no, I'm not saying, but Sam's in the material of the shield can sense what it's wanting from the person holding it or touching it or part of it.
See the thing about vibranium, the technology is so advanced. The only person that has technology. It's not even, Iron Man's technology isn't as advanced as vibranium, and Iron Man has the most advanced technology than anybody on Earth except the Wakandans. So basically, the reason that the shield can move like that is because going back to the first Avenger again, vibranium is the lightest metal to ever exist. And that shield is as light as a feather, but Captain America holding it could just go tap, the padlock breaks, door open. Do you know what I mean? It is so dense, it's so light, it's so strong, and it absorbs like vibration, hence vibranium. So he gets fucking hit with a blast, or Iron Man blasts and it deflects off that. It's like it absorbs the energy and then disperses it. Do you know what I mean? It's so light that they throw it and it bounces and it will just come straight back because it's like you. It's just like
I don't deny that,
no,
but
no.
I'm
Think of gravity though. It's like you're in space. It's like you poke a ball, then it starts moving, and then it hits off somebody's head. It instantly slowly just comes back, catch easy to where it was. That's the same. Vibranium's so light, so
no,
dense,
I
so
do, I
power.
do agree with that, but the level of accuracy of which they are throwing that and making sure that it hits to the exact point of that tree and bouncing off all of them and coming back, there must be some connection from that shield to the person throwing it.
I don't agree. I don't agree. What about you,
What do you
Mikey?
think, Mike?
Magnets. It's magnets.
Magnets, bitch! Every episode from now on, Breaking Bad reference. Get done.
Nah, right. So next up was
They're at the park.
they're at the park. Yeah.
They're at the park. Carly, we've got a wee bit of Carly. Not much of her again. The
So
guy's wondering why the park.
this is where GSP, ex middleweight champion, UFC legend, George St. Pierre, Canadian national hero, my national country. He arrives again. he arrives again. George Batroc, the Leaper from the Winter Soldier. He fought Cap on the boat from the first episode.
Organised from the power broker Sharon.
From back in the first episode, Sharon got him out of prison, but not after this series begun. Before this series begun, because he's a free man in the first episode, and he isn't in prison. He escaped. He flies away with that wingsuit, fucking Far Cry style. He flies away with that Far Cry style. Anyway, so he comes with artillery. Basically, he's gonna arm the Flag Smashers. We saw in the trailers the what's that place called again? The GCR or something. The place the Flag Smashers are going after. Anyway, we saw in the trailers a bunch of time. All the people in the park when she done that and they all got up. They all activated, basically Winter Soldier style. I got a wee Winter Soldier vibe, activating their troops. Basically, that trailer we see where the spiral staircase, the dark lights with the red, and then bursting in. They're in New York. You see the building landscape, and when they're in the park, they're attacking the GC, whatever it's called, that place, and all the people in the park were the people in the masks in the trailer, I believe.
It was kind of weird how they all got up at the exact same moment, kind of like they were like connected through like super soldiers. I don't know. I just found it very weird.
Sleeper cells. They're sleeper cells. That's exactly what they are. And then they were activated. Once they were activated, boom, here they are. They're ready for fucking action. The next episode is going to kick off a mere couple hours after this episode. It's going to start in the evening, dark, in the next episode. But the next episode takes place in the same time frame, the same day as this episode. I truly believe.
Yeah, I don't think it moves on much time. I think it stays present day.
I think there was a couple days. See with the boat montage and stuff. I think that might have been a day or two. But then with the whole sleeping on the couch, it might have been one day. But you never know. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how time's moving in this episode. However, there was one thing I wanted to bring up. do you notice the connection between this and WandaVision?
What would that be?
It's the second last episode, and for the first time this series, what did we get?
An hour long.
Not the extended time. WandaVision's times were all over the place. Now we got a mid-credit scene. WandaVision.
Oh yeah.
On WandaVision, on the episode before the finale, we got a mid-credit scene with fake Quicksilver, and what's her name, Rambeau. She opened up the cellar doors to go into the basement, and she saw all the stuff. And he's like, "Snooper's gonna snoop" or whatever. This is the second last episode of this season. We got a mid-credit scene for the first time. So I'm thinking it'll be this. I don't know. I just seen that connection between the two shows. They on the second last ep, they both had a mid-credit scene. They're gonna both have a mid-credit scene at the final ep, I believe. But I just thought that was an interesting comparison.
Well, at least we had some kind of idea at the second last episode of WandaVision, like shit was about to kick off. We knew that the new White Vision came alive. We knew that the bloody witch was Agatha Harkness. You know what have we got for this one? Bloody the old Captain, the retired fired Captain America making a crappy iron shield like a little bloody science project. What have we got? What have we got to look forward to?
I know that they said like the final 2 episodes are extended. This episode was an hour long. This episode was 50 minutes long. 51 minutes if you count the mid-credit scene. 8 minutes of credits. 8 minutes of credits. I don't know how long the last episode's going to be, but they have a lot to wrap up. We've got John Walker's story. We've got the Flag Smasher story. We've got Shannon Carter's story. I think that Zemo story wrapped up for the time being. I truly believe in the future he'll be a part of the Thunderbolts. Thunderbolt
And then
Ross
we've got
is.
the new Your National Treasure guy. What is he going to do? You know, what is Bucky going to do? Bucky
Exactly.
there.
He wants revenge on Falcon for what Falcon fucked up his mission. He didn't exactly hurt him, didn't exactly scar him. He just fucked his mission up and maybe took out a couple of his guys. That's another story beat. All this in one finale episode. I don't know how long this episode's going to be, but I'm curious to see how they pull this off because
I think
there's too much to wrap up. And are they going to wrap up movies? Or are they going to wrap it up in this finale?
Well, we'll find out next week, won't we?
I think we're only going to see a bit. So what you're saying about all that wrapping up, I don't think it's going to be as heavy as what you're saying. I think next week, it's going to be dedicated to one bit. So it is. We'll see. I think we'll see clips of what's to come and what we're going to expect. But I think next week's going to be based on one story, and I think the story it's going to be is what you were saying a couple of minutes ago about the Flag Smashers, moving in basically. I don't see much coming from Falcon. Don't see much coming from Bucky's story. Sharon Carter. Again, I think this last episode is going to be about John Walker and the Flag Smashers.
But then, who the fuck's the Power Broker? There has to be a big reveal for the Power Broker in the finale. And who's this new character that's going to phone John Walker inevitably in the finale? There's too much storylines going on, intertwining. Are they all going to converge, wrap up nicely? Are they all going to intertwine and connect in the end and going to be like, holy shit, mind blowing? I don't know. It's a lot for
we're going to screw it over and say, end of part 1.
It's a lot. It's a lot for fucking a 50-minute episode. If it is 50 minutes, this episode was apparently an hour, but I don't count the credits.
I thought, right, for this being the longest episode, it was the quickest episode.
That's what I thought as well. I at one point I clicked A and I'm like, 13 minutes left. 3 minutes later, the credits started, and I'm like, 50 minutes. That was only 50 minutes. Like, there's sly dogs that way. Sly dogs.
Are you ready for another Mikey comparison special? We got a couple last week. We're going to get another one today. Okay.
I'm ready for
the end credit scene when he's smashing and he's hammering the new shield or whatever that's going to be takes you back to Iron Man 1 with Tony in the cave.
The
It's
noise,
shot in the exact same light.
the
So it
noise,
is.
the noise before you see it. I thought,
It's shot in the same light. It's captured in the same kind of, like Paul said, the noise before you see it. It zooms in on him. It's an Iron Man comparison. That's another one ticked off.
I saw that as well, and I was gonna bring it up, but it's just I'm excited to see a shield. However, again, it's not vibranium. Is he gonna throw it?
It won't be.
Is he
No.
gonna throw it? Is it gonna be sharp, or is he just gonna use it to defend and bash, and he's just gonna be a powerhouse? He has to definitely be in the next episode. His story's gonna wrap up, and he's gonna end up in the raft. There's gonna be a post-credit scene, most likely Thunderbolt Ross walking into the raft the exact same way Steve Rogers did at the end of Civil War, where he walks up the Falcons. It's gonna be Thunderbolt Ross, and it's gonna be all these fucking villains that we've seen for the past. It's gonna be Michael Keaton, what's his name? Vulture. It's gonna be Zemo. It's gonna be who else? Scorpion. It's gonna be no Scorpion. He was in a prison at the end of Homecoming, Spider-Man. It's gonna be villains though from the MCU that we've seen before. Probably Batroc. Batroc the Leaper. He's gonna get caught after the whole like GC representative blah 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 recreation act place. He's gonna get caught there, or he's gonna get caught later on. It's gonna be him. It's gonna be Zemo. It's gonna be possibly the Vulture. Other MCU characters, and they're gonna be the Thunderbolts. So there's gonna be a spin-off series. Thunderbolt Ross. He's the boss, the leader of the raft. He's gonna bring the Thunderbolts. It's gonna be a anti-hero Suicide Squad Marvel version. Marvel version of Suicide Squad. Zemo's gonna be a part of it. Possibly the leader. Possibly the Deadshot of the team. This is the fucking ideas I'm getting. How the fuck, David, did you not like this episode? This episode blew me away. These are the ideas I got when I watched it. I got excited. I got tingly. I guess we just think differently.
It is what it is for me, you know. I did say last week I wanted a wee bit more Sharon. I wanted a wee bit more knowledge of what the hell she's doing. They kind of give me a wee glimpse of her, you know, I'm all about Sharon Carter. But
That surely can't be your only reason.
I like the storytelling. I did like it, but being the second last episode, I was hoping for what you've just mentioned, all these different stories intertwining. They've left us in the dark until the final episode. So I'm hoping we get it all next week. But right now, for this week, I'm not as impressed as the previous episodes.
Fair enough.
Well, I think next week, though, right? On next week's podcast after the finale, there's going to be a lot of shouting on this. There's going to be a lot of shouting and what the just that. Nah, I don't know how you didn't like it. I think you're wrong.
I agree, David. I just don't. I can't fathom why you didn't like it. I was blown away.
There are no right or wrong answers in here.
I was blown away on many accounts. The storytelling, the editing, all the different beats. The first 15 minutes of the episode was fucking phenomenal. John Walker heavy. He was a badass. The fight between him, Bucky, and Falcon. It very mirrored Civil War again between Bucky, Cap, fighting Iron Man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All these comparisons. It keeps going back. It was phenomenal. And then his courtroom scene, just seeing the darkness, his character, it's like, you didn't choose this. He didn't decide to be this. This is fucking circumstance that has been thrust upon him. He never chose to be Captain America. The government thrust it upon him. He
went.
Go for it, mate. Go for it.
No, carry on. Sorry.
Well, he was in Afghanistan. The worst day of his life. What did he get for it? 3 medals. Do you know what I mean? Medals of honor. He's one of the best soldiers America's ever seen. He's always done what he's told. But by his superiors, by these people that are now banishing him his cap, stripping him of his mantle, he's always done what they've said. Gave up his soul, basically. Gave up his soul. He's done things that questions his morality in Afghanistan, on missions, whatever else, missions in Chile, blah blah blah. He's killed people, he's hurt people, he's seen friends die in action. The worst day of his life. What did he get after surviving that? 3 medals of honor. Like,
One thing we have forgotten to mention is the fact that he went to visit his friend's mother and
Lamar's
father,
mom and dad. Thank you for
sister.
remembering
Yep,
that. Thank you
yep.
for. We'll get
And
back
you
to
know
that.
what?
We'll get
He
back to
lied
that
to
in a
them.
second. He did lie to them. We'll get back to that in a second. The fact the government, he's always done by the book. He's been the perfect soldier. He was the perfect soldier, and with that came a price and get Captain America thrusted upon him. And the thing is, see the people that stripped him of the mantle. They were happy that he killed that guy, but they weren't happy it was in public and the PR nightmare that it created. So it's nothing to do with that he killed somebody in brutal fashion. That's what they fucking that's what they pay him to do. It's the fact that it was a PR nightmare. It's the only reason he was stripped. And what was the reason I brought that up again?
And why they want the shield back? Are they going to try and make a new Captain America?
Oh, and then they want the shield back hastily, and he never told them that Sam has the shield actually. But I can't remember what my comparison was because you brought up that scene. I wish you let me finish. What was I going on about then? I can't remember now. I can't remember. I've lost it, David. You fucking stole it from me. You stole it from me. I was on a roll. But oh, right. So basically, he's saying to them, I've always done what you have said. I gave up my morality. I gave up my soul, basically, doing what you have told me. And then you just stripped me of the mantle because I was doing the job. And they aren't giving him a chance to explain. The circumstance doesn't matter. It's a PR nightmare. They're not Captain America. That's it. That's how we need to approach it. Very reminiscent of real life motherfucking cancel culture, I must say. I got that comparison from that. Gina Carano vibes and whatnot. Disney Plus. Anyway, I fucking really like that character. I really like a lot that happened in this episode, and I'm blown away by it all. If you want to take it on with the scene where he goes to Lamar's parents, go for it.
How could he go there and tell them that he got the guy that killed their child? How could he lie to them?
I would have done the exact same.
Trying to give them fake closure.
No. He's a mind. Like, see the fact that Lamar, he spoke to his mom every day, how proud he was to be his Captain America's partner, how proud he was of John, and the fact that he saw him like that, because John doesn't see himself like that. He knows his darkness, he knows his demons, just like us all. You've got a standard to live up to. If you're a parent, you've got a role to play. You need to be a role model, but deep down you've got your darkness, and it fucks with you. It's that mental struggle. That's why I really relate with this character, John Walker. I fucking would have done the same thing. That guy I killed, that was 30 seconds after that guy killed your son. That's why I was in the street smashing that shield off his chest like that, because he just killed my best friend in the world, your son. I would have done the exact same thing. I really like this character and relate to him. Lie? I would have fucking lied as well.
I wouldn't have lied personally, but no, I think the reason I like him, right, and you're gonna hang with me for this, but again, I like him because of that court scene. Because when I was watching that court scene and it was zooming in on him, it takes you back to Tyrion Lannister being on trial for the murder of Joffrey, right? And Tyrion turns around and goes, I saved you. I saved you all, you know what I mean? And that's when Tyrion just cracks and he's like, I should have let Stannis come in and murder everyone. And John Walker's doing the exact same thing. The camera's zooming in and he's telling him, I've gave my life for this country and look at me now. You know what I mean? I'm on trial for one mistake. Which wasn't a mistake in his eyes because in his eyes he's just getting What are you saying, sorry?
He was doing his job. He was doing his job.
Yeah.
He just got caught on camera on social media, and that's why they're firing him. Goes back to what I said. They're not angry that he killed that guy. They're happy that guy's dead. That super soldier flag smasher no longer exists. He's 6 feet under. They're happy about that. It's the PR nightmare, and that's the only reason.
But while we're on the topic of John Walker, every episode that we've watched him, right, he has been beat the crap out of. On our final episode, will he prevail? Will he be a man and not get his ass kicked? Will he win? Will he triumph?
I think he's got a big part to play in the future of the MCU, and I think there may be a show or a movie called The Thunderbolts with a team up kind of similar to Suicide Squad, but Marvel's own version. I think Zemo will be involved. I think Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming will be involved. I think Batroc the Leaper will be involved, and I think John Walker, US Agent, will be involved. They'll be involved in a somehow anti-Avengers Suicide Squad-esque team. That's what I truly believe is happening.
Did you hear about the Spider-Man reveal for the new villain?
I did.
No,
Did
but I'd
No.
like to hear it.
The actor's been chosen. He's accepted it, and he'll be playing the role of the new Dr. Octavius.
No, I heard that, but it's the exact same actor. It's the
I
exact same
heard-
Doc Ock from
It's the same
Spider-Man. It's the
I-
same guy from Spider-Man 2.
I
So
heard,
that's-
I heard that a while ago that the guy that played that played Octavius in Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire's Sam Raimi movie, was going to play Octavius in Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I heard that a while ago. Is that what you're talking about?
would
Yeah.
be good.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That
I'd
guy,
be
that
quite
guy.
happy.
I don't think anybody else could play Octavius the way that guy plays him. He was good.
Oh, he done brilliant, didn't he? I
Spider-Man
love
2.
that. I love that movie.
Even though I'm not the biggest fan of the original Raimi trilogy of Spider-Man movies, I hate Peter Parker. I hate Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker with a passion. Spider-Man 2, though, is one of the better movies. Storytelling, editing. There's that. Do you remember being a kid? I don't know about any of you. I went to the Empire Cinema in Clydebank, and then afterwards I went to Woolworths and I bought the Spider-Man 2 game for the fucking PlayStation 2. And fuck me, there's this scene in Spider-Man 2 where the camera's zooming through all the buildings, and then it's Spider-Man swinging, and then the way the camera moves, it's fucking Doc. It's the reflection from Doc Ock's sunglasses. How they did it, I don't know. It blows me away to this day. One of the best fucking camera trick editing I've ever seen in any movie. And it's just like Spider-Man swinging through the streets, and then it turns out what you're seeing is just the reflection of Doc Ock's fucking sunglasses. The camera move. Oh my god, it's phenomenal. But I still don't like Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker. Fuck that cunt.
Well, we'll get the
Oh,
best of
come
two
on.
worlds now with the new Spider-Man and not Tobey Maguire, with Tom Holland.
Mhm.
So we'll get Tom Holland and the new Dr. Octavius, well, the old Dr. Octavius, which I think will be phenomenal.
That's the thing, man. It's Tom Holland Spider-Man for me. Like, I like Tobey Maguire. I love Andrew Garfield as an actor. Hate him as Spider-Man.
I thought
But I
Andrew
love-
Garfield was good. I thought he was good. I really like it's the movies that Andrew Garfield's movies aren't good, but he's good in them. There's scenes in those movies that are great, just as that scene standalone. The movie as a whole is not, you know what I mean? But I fucking love that scene where he's like kind of grieving. It's that kind of like he's skateboarding, there's this music, and he's swinging, and he's at this like kind of workies area in the docks or somewhere. I really love that scene in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, and I really love the scene where it's Stan Lee with the earphones on in the library and the lizard and him are fighting. Fucking phenomenal. Even if the movies aren't great, there's great things about those movies and those movies that I love.
But back to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Are we going to do our cap shields?
Oh, it's time for America. Right. We'll just keep the same format as last week. It's time to rate. I think this is going to be, instead of it being the same scores every week as it always been, I think this is going to be a diverse scoring this time. I think there's going to be
I'm going to be fucking
I think
hated.
I think there's going to be some different ratings here. Mikey, starting with you, my man. Go for it.
Well, we know what I'm not going to do. Is what David's going to do. I'm going back to you guys in episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's going to be 5 shields for me. David?
Well, I'm going to tell you that if I want a bedtime story, I'll pop that on, and that'll put me straight to sleep. Because, my God, if I want a story told, they done it perfect. So
I've got no beef with you, so don't think wisely, right? I've got no beef with you, David, so think wisely what you
I did like the story about Sam and that. So for that, and I did like the. No, I didn't like much about it at all.
No. Mate, come on, it's better than 2 out of 5.
I nearly spat my beer everywhere. 2 shields. 2 shields. Listen, I'm just gonna mention David doesn't stay in Valtron. He's a good guy. Just 2 shields. Anyway, Sherry Pizzle P's turn. This episode was great. It made me feel a lot of emotions. I love the bromance between Bucky and Sam. I love the development of characters. They gave us a little teaser of Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, Madam Hydra. Who knows? She'll definitely be phoning John Walker in the next episode. Forget about next episode. It's about to go on what I think's going to happen there. I'll save that till later. This episode gave me a lot of feelings. I love the action. That first 15-20 minutes. Sorry, I really need to burp. I couldn't get that out.
On you?
I couldn't get that out without burping. Pardon me. I'm sorry. I'm starting again. Right. The first 15 minutes of this episode, seeing John Walker's decline, his psyche, his inner demons, him realizing what's just happened, that panic attack, that anxiety, we've all been there in that sort of way, in that situation in life. Maybe not killing somebody in the street, people filming it, but that same kind of feeling where something crazy has just happened, the whole way it's edited is beautiful. They kept focusing a lot on the blood dripping. The fight was amazing. Sam's arm getting broke. Sam's shield's getting ripped off. Bucky's arm getting broke. The fucking scene that US agent's a formidable soldier. We kind of saw him as a joke the past few episodes. Just that guy you love to hate. Then you saw at the end of the last episode, he was a brutal bastard. Then in this episode, you've seen he's formidable. He took on the Winter Soldier and fucking Falcon. Fucking 5 fucking stars. Without a doubt, 5 fucking stars. I'm just rambling now. The episode was great in my eyes. It gave me a lot of feelings. 5. It gave me a lot of feelings. I loved it. I said it all. I'm not going to say it again. I said it all in the episode. Everything I said in the episode reflects on my rating. David, fucking explain yourself. I don't understand the 2 shields. Maybe 4. Maybe 4.5, but 2.
I hyped myself up for it being the second last episode. I thought a lot more would be revealed. They've left us in dark quite a lot now. I feel like there's going to be a lot missed.
With what?
So
what are you
I did like the bromance. I did like the bromance.
What are
between,
you left in the dark about, though?
What?
What are you left in the dark about, though?
What? Who's the power broker? What is going on?
Listen, I told you 3 podcasts ago. The power broker's not going to arrive until the finale. The finale's next week. The power broker, but even if they don't truly reveal it, we saw the power broker this episode. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, aka Elaine from Seinfeld. Funnily enough, I watched Seinfeld a month ago. I started listening to a podcast called Gomez Watches Seinfeld. Gas Digital Network. I listened to all his podcasts and he started a new one with his sister, Gomez Watches Seinfeld. It's fucking great. I ended up watching the show. That's Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I watched Seinfeld as a kid. She's the power broker in my eyes. She might not be, but the fact that you said that stuff about the Black Widow movie and how it was supposed to come out first, now I'm not certain with my theories and I don't want to say it because of that new intel. However, fuck it,
No,
man. Who's the power broker? I don't know. But I don't I see what you mean. Overall with 5 episodes. See overall with 5 episodes, the story isn't that. What is the main storyline? For me, it's just been a lot of character fleshing and a lot of character arc and a lot of character growth and a lot of coming together. I have enjoyed it though. I wish there was 4 more episodes left, not 1. What were you gonna say there, David? Sorry.
I think they spent a lot of time repairing that boat in the episode. Like, a lot of time of that episode was on that boat. I mean, if I want to watch an episode with someone repairing a boat, I'll go on Netflix and I'll type boat repair. Thank you very much, Marvel. Right, I've got options here. I don't need to watch that.
You're focusing on the wrong things in the scene.
I'm focusing on the just. I get where you're coming from with the character development and that, but for me, you know, a lot. Carly never done much at all. She clicked a button on a phone.
David,
People got
David,
up. Yeah, they took
see-
over the. We forgot to mention at the very end that all the lights went out in the building, and they
Yeah.
kind of took out that. But not much happened at all with it. I felt it was more storytelling, not
because
action.
that's because in
And
the
I was
trailer
impressed.
we've seen the building lights out, the red lights, the characters with the masks, all those characters with the masks are the characters we've seen sitting in the park that got activated like sleeper cell agents with Carly. That's all those people in the trailer with the masks, the swirly staircase with the masks on, running up, taking over that building. That's them. And I don't know, like there was so much so much happened in this episode that I'm forgetting about. There was something else I wanted to speak about a second ago, and I remembered, and then I completely forgot because then I got interested in the point you were talking about.
You know, I would have bumped it up a wee bit. If Zemo put up any kind of fight. I was hoping for a wee fight there, a wee bit of hustle going on, you know.
What can he do? There's a super soldier there with a gun and a vibranium arm, and then there's a bunch of Wakandans with all vibranium spears, weapon, and tech. And let's not mention the vibranium fucking ship that's more advanced than fucking Professor Xavier's X-Wing. I might add. You know what I mean? There was nothing Zemo can do. He's gonna play the long game. He knows what he's doing. He's smart. He's manipulative. He's not done. He's gonna be in the raft for a short time. He's done a bit of time before. He's used to it. He's gonna fucking play the game. He's gonna possibly, in my eyes, be the Rick Flag of the Thunderbolts. He's gonna be the leader of the bad guys, the anti-heroes, Thunderbolt Ross's Thunderbolt teams. You want to stay in this fucking cage in the raft, or do you want to go do missions for me?
Well, you
That's
know,
what I
all the
think.
episodes we've had, right? I mean, episode 1, oh my god, I was hyped up. You know, I think I gave that 4 stars. Then it was 4.5. Then 5. Then 5. And then it just got better and better and better and better and better. And then this one was just it kept bulging you up, right? And then all of a sudden it's just went like back to storytelling mode, back down. So
It
for me,
sounds to me you just want to
that
watch
was
a
a letdown for
montage
me.
of action. We've not even spoke. Sam's montage scene. He's just like the movie that I watched last night, Nobody, which is do you know Better Call Saul and Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad.
I'm steaming. I've done a full ball. I'm fucking steaming. Right. What's his name? Bob Odenkirk from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. He plays con man lawyer Saul Goodman, aka Jimmy McGill. He's in this movie called Nobody. This episode. Why did I even bring that up? I'm too mad for it. I don't even know why I brought that up. There was a comparison. Oh, it was the montage scene. Right, so the montage scene starts. Sam's not instantly not an expert. He struggles a lot. He keeps trying. He keeps going. It's just like, pardon me. It's just like anybody doing anything. He starts off kind of crap, kind of embarrassed. He's going for it. He's fucking up. He's hurting himself. Whatever, etc., etc. It just reminded me of that Mr. Nobody movie. He plays a kind of John Wick character. He has a family life, but for 12 years he worked for bad people. And he was like basically a badass assassin kind of dude. Anyway, he gets back into it in that movie, sick of the family life, and he's rusty to start off with. That's the kind of comparison I got with this, just from watching that last night. Like, what were we talking about again?
The montage.
The montage. I'm sorry, I'm Steven. Right, Sam he's rusty to start with. He's rusty to start with in that movie. That I just had a kind of comparison with that. Anyway, that whole hero montage moment, building up, training, Rocky style. Then all of a sudden he's good. He's doing all these fucking flips, catching it. His timing's on. Do you know what I mean? Like, I loved all that. The montages were great. The hero moments. Like, I don't know why this was a 2 out of 5 shields for you, David. That to me, 100%. Mikey, can you agree? This episode was better than this episode was better than episode 1. Do you agree?
It was 100 times better than episode 1. It was not better than episode 4, but it didn't
I agree.
deserve.
Better than episode 4. Here we go now. So you gave episode 4, from what I recall, a 5-star. So it wasn't quite
6.
as good as episode 4. So why have you not taken it down a wee notch?
Because it's still good enough to receive 5 stars. I'm still being respectful. Episode 4 was like a staple episode throughout the full season so far. Episode 4 was the foundation from episode 1, 2, and 3. Right today, like Friday's episode, was really good. It was worthy of a 5. It was worthy. It could wield Thor's hammer, but you've gave it a 2. You can't question what I've gave it a 5. You gave it a 2.
David, answer me this, right? I'll tell you what. Let me put it in perspective for you. Episode 5 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was Avengers Endgame. Episode 4 was Avengers Infinity War. Now, are you giving one of them? Are you giving Infinity War a 5 and Endgame a 2? That's my comparison. These 2 episodes of the season, episode 4 and episode 5. Episode 3 was brilliant as well.
Infinity War and Endgame. Infinity War had the whole massive battle between Thanos and Iron Man.
Don't worry about what happened in Infinity War. I'm just saying, last week's episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was Infinity War. This week's episode was Endgame. 5 cap shields for both. However, I do like Infinity War better.
Oh, I don't know about that.
So they're still both 5 stars. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think, David, you've done dirty here. You're entitled to your opinion. It might be wrong. Don't get me. Yeah, Paul and I's right. You're wrong, but yeah, carry on.
Next week, you're either going to be really happy about the result, right, and then give it a 5-star, or you're going to be like that. Oh, that was good, but it was better than that. You know, I might actually reduce last one's episode because guess what? I feel like it was actually rubbish because this one was so much better.
It's funny you should say that because in my mind, I'm like, how can next week's episode top this week's, last week's, or the weeks before? Let's not forget, episode 3 was the episode with Zemo's dance. That episode was fucking phenomenal as well. It's like, I honestly haven't. The only flaw I see with this show is I do not give a fuck about the flag factors. And I think a lot of YouTube videos I've watched, they think how ADR reshoots in their comparisons. They think, oh, this is ADR, this is reshoots, and it kind of makes sense the way they like point it out. And I'm like, probably right, because I think the original storyline with the Flag Smashers had something to do with some sort of virus. The first time we meet them, it's about they're stealing that vaccine. All these people came back after 5 years, half the population, 50%. Then we've got 5 years worth of people who have immunities that have developed to Earth's current status. Then you get, 50% of humanity back? Billions of people. Then there was a virus caused from that in some way. I think there was a lot of reshoots in place, just based on some of the YouTube videos I've watched, New Rock Stars, whatever else, Emergency Awesome. I think they're like originally the Flag Smashers had something to do with some sort of virus, some sort of vaccine. That was their storyline, and their storyline's been changed and rewritten.
There's nothing to do. The Flag Smashers are just a terrorist group. They're going on the ideal that They want to be part of the world. They want to be they're in their nation, their home countries, and all that, right? And then the CPR, whatever they're called, right, are actually having a meeting to do that, to get everyone to get back to their homes and all that, and they're targeting them to destroy them now.
I just think that their storyline, the Flag
It doesn't
Smash,
make sense.
the Flag
The people are
Smashers
trying to help
is,
them, and yet they're terrorizing them.
well, to me, the Flag Smashers are the worst part of the show. I don't mind them; they've played their part, but from YouTube videos I watched, I truly believe that the plot was rewritten for the Flag Smashers part of the story. I truly believe that was rewritten, and a lot of it
Well,
makes sense. The first episode that they're in, they're trying to steal the vaccine. There was I think there was a virus plot, and then all of this COVID shit kicked off, and that virus plot got scrapped. There was a couple tiny reshoots. I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of the Flag Smasher scenes, when it cuts to Collie and that, there's just something about it that just doesn't feel like it belongs or it matches with the rest of the show, with everything else you see. And I might be wrong, but from some of the
well,
videos I've
I'll be
watched,
looking
I'm
forward to
starting to
watching her
think
get
that that might be
killed.
the
I hope
case.
she gets taken out next episode. I was very keen to find out more
Who?
about her. No, more about her. She's kind of annoying me now.
Who did you say you hope gets taken out?
Carly,
Oh, right. Aye.
Carly.
That bitch is dead. That bitch is dead.
Yeah, I wanted to get learn more about her and all that. Now I know what her. Well, actually, I don't know what her game is. You know what I mean? Like she said that she's trying to help people and all that, and then she's terrorized and blown up. I don't know what her game is, but she's annoying me now, and I'm hoping that she gets taken out.
Well, the Super Soldier Serum enhances what's already there. Howard is just making more of what you are. She's a bad egg. I said it to it 3 episodes ago in the podcast that I gave the comparison between her and Red Skull. She dies. She 100% dies in the next episode. Let's move on to thoughts and theories before we end the episode. What's your thoughts and theories for next episode? We've discussed this episode to
Oh, you go, Mikey. You
to
can
the
take
end.
over that one.
You know what? I'm a blank canvas for next week. Like I said earlier, I think we're going to go into a a single story rather than it being 3, 4 different. I think it's going to be a single story. We're not going to find out who the power broker is next week. We're not. I don't think we're going to see any Falcon action. We're not going to see Sharon. I don't think. I think next week is going to be a Bucky and John Walker. I think that's what we'll see most. Minus, but overall the episode's going to be about the Flag Smashers, where they go, and the ending. Maybe we'll get to see Falcon. Then that might be when they show us the wings just before the cut, just before the credits. You might see them open, but I'm a blank canvas going it. You boys?
I think personally, the start of the third act or just before the end of the second act, we're gonna see Falcon's new suit. I don't know how many storylines they're gonna tie up. I don't believe that an hour's long enough to tie up all these different storylines, but just based on the mid-credit scene, John Walker making the shield, I thought he was the main villain of the show. I still think he's the big bad boss at the end of the game. He's the final boss at the end of the game. We saw him making the shield. We might not see him all episode until maybe the last 15 minutes, and then he comes in. I think they may wrap up. I think they're going to wrap up the Flag Smasher story at the start of the next step, because the end of this step was them gearing up to take over that building and infiltrate the GC, whatever. They're infiltrating there. I think that will be at the start of the episode. I think that will conclude for the first act. That'll be the Flag Smasher story wrapped up in the first act. Then it will go into the second act. There'll be some storylines. Things may be revealed, aka the power broker and whatnot. Then we get into the power broker. We deal with the power broker stuff. And then John Walker is going to come. He's going to be the big bad boss. I think it's going to be in that order. They're going to wrap up the Flag Smasher story in the first act. I think they're going to introduce and have the power broker story come to its apex in the second act, and then the third act, the big bad boss, John Walker, US agent. That's what I think is going to happen. And I think Sam's going to face John Walker in his new vibranium Captain America suit. He's going to have the fucking shield. He's going to fight the fake Captain America. It's going to be dark tone versus light tone, hero versus bad, versus villain. It's going to be that contrast. I see them. That's how it's going to end. It's going to be Falcon versus John Walker. That's the third act. Second act is going to be all about the Power Broker. Power Broker is going to probably escape and then make a return later on in the MCU. First act, Flag Smashers, done. That's my theories. That's my prediction. What do you think?
My prediction will be that Sam will be at the boat having a beer. Bucky will turn up. He'll sit down with him. He'll be like, "Do you want a beer?" And they'll have a beer. And then they'll chat about the old times. World War. I'm kidding on. I'm kidding. See if that happens, I'm turning it off. I can't deal with it. I've had enough storyline. No, I'm just kidding before Mikey goes off his head. No, I think it will be to do with that building. They've taken over the building. I think Falcon Sam opened up the case. He's got that new outfit. He'll put that on the shield. He'll find out something's going on. He'll go over there. He'll contact Bucky. Bucky will be there. Taking on the Flag Smashers. John Walker will know about it. He'll be going there. There'll be a big thing between Bucky, Sam against Flag Smashers against John Walker. So I think there'll be a big battle there. I'm hoping there'll be a big battle there. And Zemo, we can all agree that if that's wrapped up, yeah,
Aye.
he'll be. He's gone.
Zemo's wrapped up, but as I said, I believe he's coming back. Possibly it could be a part of the Thunderbolts. And I think John Walker in the mid-credit scene may have something to do with what I was talking about between the Thunderbolts. John Walker's going to end up in the raft exactly where Zemo's just ended up. That's what I'm predicting. That's what I'm theorizing.
And then we're going to find out the French guy will be there. He'll be having some devastating effect. No doubt it'll probably be involving explosions or something like that. So he'll be there trying to take on Falcon. And I think what we will actually get to witness properly for the first time will be Sam and Bucky fighting in sync with each other, like properly.
I hope so.
Aye, as a team, like a proper
Yeah.
unit. I agree. Anyway, boys, I think we've wrapped it up. I think we've discussed it all. This has been, as I said every week, the best step yet. I've loved the conversation. I've loved the theories. We're going to wrap it up here. Mikey, it's been a pleasure. Any last words and thoughts?
Just thanks for having me on again, guys. You know what? It's two episodes in for me. It's been a blast. Hopefully,
Always
long may it
welcome on,
continue.
mate. Always welcome on. Anytime you want to be on, you're part of it. David, any last words and thoughts?
If I don't get 5 minutes worth of Sharon Carter next week, I'm going to blow up, right? No, looking forward to the next episode, the final of the Winter Soldier and the Falcon episode finale.
We're going to need to come up with some other podcast to talk about because I'm enjoying this. This is good. This season's ending. Something else has to begin. It has to. But anyway, it's been a great episode. We all voted. 5 stars for Mikey, 5 stars for me, 2 for David. Fuck knows what he's been drinking. Anyway, you've been watching the Nerd Right Mention. Thanks for watching. We love you. Catch you next time.